Please subscribe my channel Wisdom After 60 and press bell notification.
Have you ever sat in your favorite chair, the one near the window, and watched the day pass quietly, wondering if anyone is thinking of you? It's a feeling that comes softly, like a breeze through an open window. You look around and notice the silence. The phone hasn't rung. No new messages. The world outside seems busy, rushing on without stopping to look back. And sometimes, in the stillness, a question stirs deep inside. Do I even matter anymore? If you've ever felt this way, I want you to know, you are not alone. So many people over 70 carry this quiet ache. Not because they've done anything wrong, but because life changes. Children grow up, friends move away. The routines that once gave shape to the day begin to fade. And in their place, something unfamiliar settles in a kind of emptiness that's hard to name. But here's the gentle truth. You are not forgotten. Not really. You are still here, still breathing, still full of memories, stories, and meaning. And even though the world may seem louder and faster than it used to be, your presence still matters deeply. So if your heart has felt a little heavy lately, if the quiet has become too loud, stay with me. Let's talk. Not about how to fix everything, but about how to carry this feeling with kindness, and how to slowly return to yourself, with peace, warmth, and gentle strength. You're not invisible here. You're welcome. You're seen. There comes a point in life, often quietly, without announcement, when everything that once defined us begins to change. We are no longer the ones rushing out the door, no longer juggling work and family and errands with tired hands and full calendars. The house that was once filled with noise, children laughing, doors opening and closing, phones ringing now holds more silence than sound. And with that silence, a strange feeling can settle in. We begin to ask, who am I now? Without the title of parent, worker, caregiver, or provider being spoken each day. It can feel like we've faded from view, but here's the truth. Roles may come and go, but the person you are at your core has never left. You are still the one who stayed up late when someone was sick, still the one who worked hard even when no one noticed, still the one who comforted, cooked, listened, and loved, deeply, fiercely, and often without thanks. Just because the world has gotten noisier doesn't mean your voice has lost its value. In fact, now more than ever, your quiet wisdom is needed. You are like a lighthouse still shining, still steady, even if fewer ships pass by now. Your light hasn't gone out, it's just that the sea has changed. So many elders feel forgotten, not because they've become less, but because the world has forgotten how to look slowly, how to truly see. But I see you. And maybe today, that's where we begin. Not with answers or big changes, but with one small truth: you still matter. You always have. Sometimes the hardest part isn't that others forget to call. It's that we begin to forget ourselves. We forget the sound of our own laughter, the things that once lit us up inside. We forget that we're more than the names people gave us: mother, father, worker, neighbor. And in that forgetting, something in us begins to dim. But what if we turned gently inward for a moment, not to dwell on what's lost, but to remember what's still alive? You see, even if the world around you has grown quiet, your inner world is still rich with color. There are parts of you, your kindness, your strength, your tenderness, that have never stopped breathing. Think of an old mirror tucked away in the attic. Over time, it gathers dust, but the reflection is still there, waiting. All it takes is a soft cloth, a little light, and a moment of care to see yourself clearly again. That's what this moment can be for you. Remember the lives you've touched, the hands you've held, the meals you've cooked, the quiet prayers you whispered when no one was looking. These things didn't vanish with time. They became part of you, and when you begin to remember yourself again, not just the younger you, but the whole you, something beautiful starts to happen. You stop waiting to be seen, and instead, you begin to see yourself with gentleness. You begin to feel less like you're disappearing, and more like you're returning. So today, take a breath, place a hand over your heart, and say, I am still here, because you are. And that's no small thing. When we feel forgotten, it doesn't just sit in the heart, it settles into the body too. You might notice your energy dipping more than usual. Sleep may come in fragments. Your appetite may waver. Some days, it feels like you're moving through fog, and even if no one else sees it, you feel it in your bones, in your chest, in your very breath. This is the quiet toll of emotional isolation, and it's more common than people talk about, especially after 70. But here's the hopeful part. Just as loneliness affects the body, so does connection, even in small, gentle doses. You don't need a crowd. You don't need a busy calendar or a long list of contacts. What you need is one moment of meaningful connection a day. Just one. Maybe it's a walk to the local park where familiar faces pass by. Maybe it's writing a short note, even if you never send it, just to pour out the words that sit heavy on your chest. Maybe it's calling an old friend, or reaching out to a neighbor, or even chatting with someone in a store for a few moments. If you have access to technology, try a short video call with a grandchild or a friend. Seeing a familiar face, even through a screen, has the power to brighten the mind and steady the spirit. And if you're not ready to reach out yet, that's okay too. Start with yourself. Drink a glass of water. Sit in the sun for 10 minutes. Stretch your arms gently toward the ceiling and breathe deeply. Let your body know that you still care. Healing doesn't always happen in big leaps. Sometimes, it begins with one small choice, repeated, day by day, that says, I'm not giving up on myself, and that is enough to begin again. There's a sacred stillness that often comes with age, a quieter rhythm that the world, in its rush, forgets how to hear. But you carry something rare within you. You've lived through seasons others can't. Only imagine moments of deep joy, aching loss, small victories, and silent strength. That depth, that story. It didn't disappear just because fewer people ask about it now. In fact, it may be more powerful now than ever before. Think of yourself like an old tree at the edge of a quiet field, weathered, strong, rooted. Maybe fewer birds come to rest on your branches now, and the laughter of children no longer rings beneath your leaves. But still, you stand. You've seen storms pass. You've bloomed in spring and rested in winter. And in your stillness, there is wisdom, that you are not forgotten in the deeper sense. Not by life, not by meaning, and not by the soul of this world. Some may call it God, some call it spirit. Others may simply call it peace. But there is something beyond us that never stops holding us. Even when people do. So when the world feels distant, come back to that center. Light a candle, sit in silence, pray, or simply place your hand on your heart and listen. That small steady beat is a quiet reminder. You are still alive and your presence still matters. And maybe, just maybe, this stage of life isn't about being needed in the way you once were, but about simply being present, being whole, being love. Your spirit hasn't aged the way your body has. It's still bright, still kind, still full of light. And no matter how invisible you may sometimes feel, you are seen always. If you've made it this far with me, I want to thank you not just for listening, but for allowing your heart to stay open. That takes quiet courage. I know the feeling of being forgotten can come and go like the weather. Some days it's just a passing cloud, and other days it feels like a long winter. But even in those cold, quiet moments, you are not alone. Sometimes, the world doesn't mean to forget, it just gets distracted. It moves too fast, but that doesn't mean you have disappeared. You're still here, still breathing, still holding a lifetime of wisdom, love, and memories that matter more than you know. So please be gentle with yourself. If today felt heavy, let tomorrow be softer. If no one called, call yourself back to what brings you peace. A warm cup of tea, a favorite book, a quiet prayer, a song that brings you back to life. And if this message found its way to you, maybe it's because something deep within you already knows. You are still a light in this world, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. So stay with us here at Elderly Echoes. This is a place where your voice is welcome, your story is honored, and your presence is felt. And if this touched your heart in any way, I invite you to subscribe, not out of obligation, but because this space was made with you in mind. You are not forgotten here. You never were.